David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was going to mention that for the last couple of days I've been speaking to a number of the constituents in my electorate who have been very, very concerned about what has actually happened in and around Sandringham area. And it's largely due, obviously, as other speakers have said, to the over-presence of alcohol. So I have some real concern about this part of the bill, which in many ways speeds up and makes alcohol much more available and easier to get. It will increase the number of outlets. It will mean that alcohol is more available. And the part I don't like about this part, Mr. Chair, is that the time in which you can protest or object to an outlet being open is only a matter of 5 days. It's very ad hoc and very quickly moving. Yes, it does keep in place the same rules and regulations as it would do under any other system, but the fact that it's sped up, I believe, is not probably necessary. We have a World Cup that is really from the 9th of September through to the 31st of October. If we can't plan the number of liquor outlets that we think we're going to need before that time, then it's really hard for me to understand how we're going to suddenly come up with an idea that you need an ad hoc liquor outlet here, there, or a licence here, there for other purposes. I was appalled, like many others, watching the scenes on television during the Test match, and I mean the point has been made that it's it was a league test. Frankly, I've been to many test matches, league test matches at Ericsson Stadium, etc. I've never seen anything like that. So I really hope that it's a one-off. But the overwhelming conclusion about what happened inside the stadium, which was bad enough, people throwing things, and people have talked about glasses and the softer containers to get beer in. But what was also happening outside the stadium, which was of the concern to my constituents, bottles all over the road, fighting, loutish behaviour, all of that detracts from those people. Those people live in an area where they know there is a stadium. They bought in an area knowing that Eden Park was there. They didn't, most of them, know that Eden Park was going to be expanded to this extent. I do think that while the World Cup and the Rugby World Cup is incredibly important to us, it's very important to the surrounding businesses and to the area as well, that those residents, those rights of those residents do need to be protected. And I'm not sure that this piece of legislation, this part of the legislation, will do anything really to give those residents comfort that they are going to be better served by having more outlets and a process that speeds up the granting of liquor licences than what we would have already had. So, Mr. Chair, I have some concerns about this. I look at for example, the comments of the police. The police at first actually voiced some concern about this part of the bill. They were then persuaded or re-looked at the part and decided not to protest against it, but certainly the St John's ambulance came out and said that they did not support it. In fact, they believed that it was going to be to the detriment of the game and certainly to the image of New Zealand needing to drink in order to watch sport. I want a World Cup in which everybody enjoys themselves, which certainly people can have a drink, and I certainly will be, but I don't think we need to go... we want to see a repeat of what we saw at the Test match the other night. And so, Mr. Chair, I have some concerns about this piece of legislation, this part of the legislation, and in particular the requirement that there will be the outlets. We can increase the number of outlets in an area which has a huge number of outlets already, and that process, Mr. Chair, is likely to be sped up and pushed through. Thank you, Mr. Chair.